What's going on, everybody? And welcome back to 30 Minutes to Unwind. I'm Corey. Whatever you're doing, wherever you're at, I'm glad you decided to stop by. All right, just a friendly reminder, I'm not a doctor, not a psychiatrist. Everything I share with you is from my point of view, and what works for me may not work for you. All right. Have you ever had one of those days when the evening finally gets here? You're tired, but not just physically tired, you're mentally tired. You're drained. It's like too many people needed something from you all day long. Work wanted something from you. Of course, your family needs things. You have text messages, phone calls, emails, you're running errands, you're doing favors for everybody. You have a busy schedule. And before you know it, the entire day is gone and you realize you never really had a moment for yourself. That's what this week's episode is about. Because sometimes the biggest thing standing between you and your peace of mind is one small word, and that's no or nope, however you want to say it. All right. So without further ado, let's get into it. Today, we're talking about something simple, but for a lot of people, it's not easy. And that is respect, not my silence, not my delayed response, but my no. Because for some reason, a lot of us are taught to be available at all times, to always say yes, to always show up, and to always be dependable. On the surface, that sounds like a good thing. But if you're not careful, being dependable can slowly turn into being drained. Being kind can turn into being overextended. Being helpful can turn into never having time left for yourself. Because saying no, it's not rude. It's not selfish. It's not a character flaw. Sometimes it's the healthiest thing you can say. And a lot of people struggle with that. Not because they don't want their peace, but because they don't need boundaries and because we don't want to disappoint people. And that's the real part. You just don't want to disappoint people. A lot of us have said yes when we're already tired. You say yes when you didn't even have the time. You say yes when you knew it was going to cost more than what you could afford mentally. And we said it because it felt easier to say no, because no can come with questions. No can come with guilt. No can come with that feeling that now you got to kind of explain yourself. Why not? What are you doing? You can't make it work just this one time. It won't take long. And sometimes that it won't take long turns into the exact thing that pushes you further away from your rest. And that's the part that people don't always talk about. It's usually not one huge thing that drains you. It's a bunch of little yeses, a bunch of trivial things stacked on top of each other until one day you realize you don't even have the space to breathe. And now you're irritated. You're tired. You're snapping at people. You're mentally somewhere else, even when your body is in the room. Not because you're a bad person, not because you don't care, because you've been handing out energy that you really don't have. And now your mind is paying the bill for that. That's why boundaries matter. And I know sometimes people hear the word boundaries and it sounds heavy. It sounds clinical. It sounds like a big dramatic moment. But honestly, sometimes a boundary is just a sentence, just one small sentence. I can't do that today. I'm not available right now. I need to sit this one out. I can help you, but I can't help you right now. Just say no. That's it. No long speech, no pressure, no 10-minute explanation, just a clear and concise answer. And I think one of the hardest parts about saying no is that sometimes people only like your boundaries when your boundaries still benefit them. They're okay with your peace until your peace is an inconvenience on them. They're okay with your rest until your rest means you're not available for what they need or what they want when they want it. They're okay with you taking care of yourself as long as it doesn't interrupt that access that they have to you. And that's when you really find out who respects you and who respects your boundaries. Because All right, the people who care about you and respect your boundaries, they may not always like your no, but they could still respect it and understand where you're coming from. And that's the difference. Respect doesn't always sound like some type of agreement. Sometimes respect sounds like, all right, I understand. Take care of what you need. All right, let me know another time. That's no pressure. That's respect. But when somebody keeps pushing after you've already said no, what they're really saying is your boundaries, ah, they matter less than their preference. And that's a problem because once people learn that your no can be negotiated, they stop taking it seriously. Now, every no becomes a conversation, every boundary becomes a debate, every hesitation becomes an opening. And before long, you're exhausted, just trying to protect your own time. That's why this episode is called Respect My No, because no should be enough. No means no. And let's be honest, this doesn't just happen with other people. Sometimes we don't even respect our own no. We tell ourselves we need a break, then we keep going. Okay, we know we're tired, but we still pile more on, still doing stuff. We know our schedule is full, but we still convince ourselves to squeeze one more thing into our schedule. So even eternally, we cross our own boundaries. And that's worth paying attention to. Because if you don't respect your own limits, it's get tougher and tougher to expect anybody else to respect your own limits. You got to respect yourself first. All right. I want to take a second and think about this for yourself. Who or what in your life has the hardest time accepting your no? Is it work? Is it your family? Is it your friends? Is it your phone? Is it your own expectations? For me, it's probably my expectations. I expect a lot out of myself. And sometimes I'm saying yes when I probably should be saying no, but I'm working on it. All right. How many times have you said yes this week when you really want to say no? For me, probably a few times. And even this weekend, said yes to some stuff when I probably should have said no. And how much of those yeses are causing you stress right now is coming from the things you agreed to that you really didn't have the energy to do, but you already agreed to them. And be honest with yourself. And that's worth thinking about because sometimes we say we need more rest, but what we really need is fewer obligations. And we say we need more time, but what we really need is fewer people pulling at us and doing favors for people all the time. Sometimes we say we're overwhelmed, but deep down, we already know exactly what's draining us. We just haven't been honest about it. So ask yourself this: what would happen if you started protecting your peace a little more? What would happen if you stopped sounding like an apology and started sounding like a decision? Because maybe that's the real reset. Not doing more, not trying harder, just finally deciding that everything or everyone doesn't deserve access to me right when they expect it. So just think about that. All right. Because there's going to come a time, a point where protecting your peace has to become more important than pleasing everybody else around you. That doesn't mean, okay, I'm becoming cold. That doesn't mean shutting people out. It doesn't mean never showing up. It just means understanding that your energy has limits. And that matters. You're not supposed to be everything to everybody at all times. You're not supposed to answer every call, solve every problem, accept every invite, carry every burden, and still show up, somehow be okay. That's not balance. That's not balance. That's burnout with good intentions. And a lot of people live there longer than they should. They smile through it, they push through it, they keep telling themselves it's temporary. I'll slow down later. But we already know later has a way of never showing up when you keep giving away your time that you need for yourself. So for you, some of you listening, this is just a reminder that no is not something you have to apologize for. No is not being difficult. No is not failing people. No, it's not choosing yourself in some selfish way. Sometimes, sometimes no is how you protect what little piece you have. Sometimes no is how you keep from going back to running on fumes. Sometimes no is how you make room for rest. Sometimes no is the line between staying centered and slowly breaking down again. Sometimes it's a sign that you finally stopped overextending yourself, and that's growth. Before we wrap it up, I want to leave you with this thought. The people who truly value you should not only appreciate your yes, they should also be able to respect your no. And if you're somebody who has a tough time saying it, let this be a reminder. You don't always need to break down yourself just to justify your boundaries. You don't have to wait until you're exhausted to protect your energy. You don't have to become completely empty before no becomes valid. Your no is valid now. And maybe that's how some of us unwind better. Not by adding more, not by trying harder, not by being available every second, but finally deciding that peace deserves protection too. All right. All right, let's switch it up for a second. I hear my phone ringing. All right, we got the NFL draft starting on Thursday. My Steelers have the number 21 pick in the first round, and number 53 pick in the second round. Then they got a few picks in each round. Most mock drafts have us getting the O lineman in the first round, but I don't know. I worry about the NFL in September. That's just how it's gonna be. Right now, the NBA playoffs are on, so I'm kind of focused on that. My Lakers are up 1-0 over Houston. So hey, we go take it, see how far we can go. All right. If this episode brought you some value or made you think, do me a favor, follow the show, leave a review, and share it with someone. Tell a friend to tell a friend. For show details, follow me on X at controlroom_media. That's Charlie, November, Tango, Romeo, Lima, room_media. You can find me on YouTube, IG, and Facebook by searching for Control Room Media Group. You can catch new episodes every Tuesday on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts by searching for 30 Minutes to Unwind. All right, that's it. And I'll see you on Tuesday. All right, peace. And I'm out.